perfect neckline with German short row. Let's get started. All right. First of all, everything you need is in my description box. Okay? Also, all the necessary information will be explained at the end of this video. Like, how to find out your cast on number, stuff like that. Okay? Today, I kind of want to change my style. I usually tell you all the math first, but today I want to talk about how to knit this neckline. Hey yo, welcome to my channel. Here I share step-by-step knitting tutorials that even complete beginners can follow with ease. And the best part, I also offer all the patterns I use. I'm planning to add more tools and self-learning videos in the future, so if you find my content helpful, I'd love your support. Of course, things like likes, subscribing to the channel, and kind comments mean the world to me. And if you like to go a step farther, I've also started a Buy Me a Coffee page where you can support my work through small donations. I'll be sharing or offering for sale some useful knitting tools and patterns. So feel free to check out the link in the description. You can join as a free member too. And by the way, I also have a blog where I talk about my everyday life totally unrelated to knitting. So if you are curious, come hang out there too. Thank you for watching, and let's keep knitting fun and cozy together. Cast on, I made 96 plus 1 extra stitch, so total of 97. There's reason why 1 extra stitch, because when I connect both ends, I will lose 1 stitch. Okay, that's the only reason. Okay, so I finished making all the cast on, and I have to make sure you're facing to right side. Okay, and then connect both ends first and start knitting. So slide 1 stitch purlwise like that, and 1 stitch behind, pass that over. There you go. Now it's connected. There you go. Okay. And you put the begin marker and start knitting. And this time I only use knitting stitch, but you can do 1 by 1 or 2 by 2 ribbon. It's really up to you. This is the neck rib. Okay. And I'm going to actually make it double neck. So it's a little bit longer than usual, which is about 3 inches. Okay. And I am going to show you how to make double neck. It's super easy. You just have to fold in half. Okay. And you have to kind of go down. That's the first stitch, right? And find out the bottom stitch. There we go. And you have to pick up the bottom stitch thread. Okay, and hook onto left needle like that. And you just have to do knit two together. So you know which one, right? The bottom stitch first and the current original stitch knit two together and kind of, make it double neck. You know what I'm saying? There you go. And then, once you pick up the, the first bottom stitch, easy. You just have to, pick up the next stitch from the bottom and then knit it together. That's all. Easy. Okay. The reason why I make the double neck, because this time I want kind of, no raw edge. You know what I'm saying? And I kind of want to use the, only knit stitch for it. Anyway, so I'm done, okay? And in one round on all pearl, just for the, little accent. So if you actually put the all pearl in one round, you kind of have to distinguish where is the bottom of the neck. There you go. Because I wasn't using the, the 1x1 or 2x2 ribbon. So, you know, now you can see, okay, this is neck and this is yoke, something like that. And then knit one round as prep row. And now you have to add Raglan markers. Again, I'm going to talk about this, okay, more detailed at the end of this video. Okay, so if you want to know right now, you better go very back. Okay, but I'm going to actually tell you in general. Okay, I already add clip-on marker. This is how I did it. So, whole stitch count divided by 6. My 96 divided by 6 is 16. Okay, that's my base number. Okay, so in the center of the back piece, which is the biggie marker, I took base number times 1 each side. So total base number times 2. And next section would be my sleeve, right? So that's base number times 1. And rest would be my front. Same as back piece, which is base number times 2. Okay, and you see yellow marker, that's for the German short row target. Okay, and in between two yellow markers, base number times 1. So 16. So you know what to do, right? You kind of have to count from the beginning marker each side. Okay, now let me talk about the German short row target. Okay, I used to add short row only back piece, or a little bit more than, half back piece. But now I kind of expand towards to the front. You know what I'm saying? Yellow marker, that's the last German short row target, starting from the back biggie marker and just knit back and forth, little by little, extended until those two yellow markers, which means you pass, Raglan marker, right? Both side, and every time you pass that Raglan marker, obviously you have to increase, So, because of the extension of the German short row area, I made perfect neckline. So let's start then. Okay, so I, prepared few markers because I don't like the clip-on marker. So, every time I pass, I have to kind of change. I don't want to use the clip-on marker. So, okay. So that's the only, for the orange marker. Okay. So starting with the German short row, and whenever you hit the, Raglan marker, you have to increase as well. So my German short row target number is 3. I will talk about it later. Okay. Why 3? Anyway, so knit 3 and turn, and this is German short row number 2, wrong side. Keep the working yarn front and slip 1 purl wise. And now, okay, I am going to tug the working yarn towards to the back. So the working yarn front there's one stitch, but when you tug the working yarn towards the back, you see two stitch. I call it fake two stitch or fake double. So after you make the fake double stitch, I add pink marker, okay? And then I start making purl. So yarn front and then purl until the begin marker, okay? Then reset. I'm gonna actually go on the purl side, German short row, okay? So purl 3. I'll tell you why 3 later, okay? So purl 3 and then turn. Now German short row number 3, right side. Keep the working yarn front, slide one stitch purlwise and then one stitch right. Tug the working yarn towards the back. So now I made fake double stitch. Then now add blue marker. Okay, this is not the Raglan marker, just for the German short row marker. Okay, and keep the yarn at the back and start knitting towards the begin marker. And now reset. Now I'm going to go knitting German short row side. So now you see the pink marker, which means after the pink marker, there's a fake double stitch. So you gotta be careful, that's all. And a lot of people don't use the markers. However, for the beginners, I add markers because some people don't like the German short row. That's because they don't know which one is double stitch. Anyway, knit until the marker, remove the marker and see double stitch, right? So you will knit German short row knitted together. It's one stitch, but I call it German short row knitted together. There we go. And after that, knit 3. Again, why 3? I'll talk about it later. Okay? So once you knit German short row knitted together and knit 3 again, turn. Now, keep the working yarn front, slide purlwise, and add marker or, tag and make double stitch. Okay? And then purl. Okay, don't forget to add marker if you are doing first German short row. Okay, and then purl to the mid marker, and now purl side, purl until the marker. There we go. Remove means fake double stitch is next. Okay, there you go. That's not mistake stitch, that's fake double stitch. And you have to do German short row purl two together. That's what I usually call it. Okay? And then purl 3. Okay? Reset and base number kicks in purl 3. Then what do you have to do? Turn. There we go. And then keep the working yarn front, slide, tug, and make double stitch and add marker, then knit back to begin marker. And you just have to repeat row number 3 and row number 4 until your desired row count. And I'm going to talk about it later. So just go back and forth, as you know, which means you pass begin marker all the time, which means you create more rows right at the, begin marker and going towards to the front German short row target, right? That's actually German short row knitted together and then knit 3, then turn, right? So you know what I'm saying? German short roll, one point thicker, and other, area is thinner fabric. Okay, that's why you can raise your back piece higher, and rest of them are shorter, but slowly, gradually. That's why you make perfect neckline. And again, I only add short roll for, only half back piece. But I thought about it, and if you extend, maybe I can make, better neck shape. That's why I extended. Anyway, this is the pearl side. Anyway, keep, repeating row number 3 and row number 4. I just actually did the German short roll, purl 2 together, and purl 3, then turn. So now the what is that? The Raglan increasing is kicks in. Okay, so here, and remove the pink marker, and German short roll, knit 2 together, right? And then knit 3. 1, 2, 3. Good. The one stitch, before and after the Raglan marker, you have to be very careful because I need those 2 stitch to increase. So this time, I just turn, right? And then start all over. Okay, slide 1 stitch and tuck the working yarn behind and add pink marker. And now I'm coming back, and here comes, remove the German short roll marker, and then German short roll, knit 2 together. Now I kind of want to count knit 3. However, as you already know, okay, there is Raglan marker. You have to increase. So I count 3. 1, 2, 3. Okay, so you know which one is the third stitch. You have to remember. Okay, so make one right first to increase, because right side of the marker. So I'm using the previous stitch, picking up the right side and hook on the left, and then knit. This is increasing, and I knit original stitch. That's number 1 stitch for German short roll, okay? And then next, I am going to knit original stitch first to make the make one right. So this is the second stitch for German short roll. Okay, and now I am going to use previous left stitch to increase. Sorry, you can't really see. Yeah, and this is increasing make one left. And then knit third stitch for German short roll. Then turn. Okay, and then slide 1 stitch, tug the working yarn towards the back, add German short roll marker, and then purl back. And behind the increasing stitch, on the wrong side, you just have to purl, so you don't have to worry about anything. And then purl back towards to the other side of the German short roll marker, and then you gotta do little tricky stuff around that, marker. Okay, the Raglan marker. So let's do that this side. Okay, purl 1, and there you go, 2, 3. This time it's easy because I decide I'm not going to increase on purl side. So I just passed smoothly and made the, double stitch. Now I am going to, there you go, increase. Because, one stitch before the Raglan marker. You know what I'm saying? It's a little bit different than the other side because, I'm knitting in flat right now. Okay, so, but I'm counting right, okay? And I don't have to count right now. There we go. So that's the one I have to use for make one left. So knit original first and then pick up the previous left stitch, hook on, then knit one to make one left. So this side is a little bit easier than the other side for counting purpose, but you gotta be careful. You know what I'm saying? So when you encounter, okay, mixed with the German short row marker and then Raglan marker, you kind of have to, count, more carefully and just go back and forth, okay? There we go. This is another Raglan increasing. There you go. Hook on, make one right. And knit one and then make one left. There you go. I'm glad this time, I completely pass and then German short row. So it's quite easy. Right? So once you actually pass that, Raglan marker, it's easy until next Raglan marker. That's all. Okay? So just keep knitting back and forth. Okay. I just create the purl side of the, fake double stitch and then keep making purl. Again, I gotta actually tell you one thing. The last sweater that I did the German short row and, Raglan sweater, I increase on right side and wrong side because there's two sides, right? But this time I only increase on right side. That's the difference. If you want to watch the other video, I leave the link below. Okay? Here comes. This is the wrong side of the Raglan marker. I don't have to worry about anything, right? Just purl because I'm not increasing. But in the last video, I increase on wrong side for the purl side. You know what I'm saying? So it was a little bit tricky, but I think it's really up to you. You have to kind of think around that area anyway. Okay? So you watch the other video and learn how to do, then decide. That's the best way of learning, I think, and learning which one is easier for you. Okay? So anyway, oh, and changing the color of marker is kind of important. If you're using the same color of the marker, easily you get confused. Okay, so right and left, German short row marker, you should change too. Okay, use different color. Okay, that's the best way of remembering. Anyway, I'm reaching towards to the target German short row target marker, which is almost done. So I need 1, 2, 3. Bingo. If you have to actually, knit one more stitch or less stitch, it's up to you. it's just a target, you don't really have to stop right there or pass right there or, before. It doesn't really matter. Okay? Anyway, so these are my last German short row turn for each side. Once you hit the, target yellow, marker. And I am going to knit in round from now, which means no more turning. So make sure after you finish last turn, which means you're facing to right side, knitting side. No more German short row knit purl two together. There you go. So I just turn and I'm on knitting side. Am I? Yeah, there you go. So what should I do? You still have fake double stitch around that, yellow marker, right? So just knit until the begin marker first. Okay, there you go. It's done. Okay, so let's talk about what I did. Okay, so I just hit both yellow marker, which is German short row target, right? From now on, again, I am going to knit in round. No more flat. Okay, and as you can see, there's lots of knitting rows at the begin marker, right? So that's good. And now, what are you gonna do with the remain fake double stitch? You just have to knit it together. That's all. Okay? So this side is easy because supposed to be just a German short row knitted together, right? The problem is the other side, but it's not that problem anyway. So here, knit inside as usual. So knit until the marker and remove the marker, which means there is fake double stitch. So you just have to do German short row knitted together. So the other side, okay, you gotta be very careful because I was supposed to turn and then going back on wrong side, but this time I keep knitting. So the fake double stitch is before the marker, not the after the marker. That's all. Okay? That's all you have to be careful. And I was supposed to do the German short row purl two together, but instead of that, before the marker, I'm gonna do the German short row knit two together. That's all. Because I'm not going back to purl side anymore. Okay? There you go. That's it. And one thing I have to tell you, okay? Because you're knitting in round, you're knitting only right side from now on, which means no wrong side. So you kind of mixed up with increasing row and not increasing row. Increasing row number one and row number two, no increasing. But both on right side. So you got to be careful. Anyway, this is it. Okay? The back of my neck is 3-inch. You know what that means? Means the front part is 3-inch lower than back. And look at this, gradually, less rows. And this time, gradually more fabric towards to the back. This is the cause of the perfect neck shape. You know what I'm saying? Just like a t-shirt. neckline. Look at this. And completely seamless. Isn't it beautiful? I think so. And I really like to, extend the German short row target. Only just a, front piece, no German short row. That's all. Anyway, from now, I am going to explain how to find out the cast on number, base number, and base number for German short row, stuff like that. Okay? So stay tuned. Okay? More to come. That's it. Okay? I love this shape. What do you think? All right, let's go ahead and calculate the numbers you will need to knit this sweater. First, since this sweater is worked top down, we will start by finding out the cast on numbers for the neck opening. To do this, you will need two measurements, which is your actual neck size and how much larger you want the neck opening to be for comfort. For example, my actual neck is 12 inches, but that will be too tight. So I'm adding 3 inches and going with a 15 inches opening. So this neckline opening is 15 inches. Okay, that's the first measurement. The second thing we need to find out is how much we want to raise the back using short rows to shape the neck. You already know I add short row to create this beautiful neckline, right? This gives a more natural t-shirt-like neckline and prevents the front from feeling too tight. I usually raise the back by about 1 to 2 inches. Do you remember? If you ever watch my, the Raglan sweater, you know what I'm talking about. But since this neckline is a bit narrower than usual, that might not be enough. If I actually put the 1 to 2 inch high only for the back, this front line won't drop down enough. You know what I'm saying? That's what I meant. So this time I decided to raise the back by 3 inches. Okay, that's why I add quite a bit for the back piece. If the neck opening is much bigger, 1 to 2 inches raise is sometimes enough, as I said that. Another important consideration is where to place the short row. This is very important. In the past, I only placed short row across the back section. I usually split in half, which is front and back, and I add short rows only for back piece. That does raise the back a bit, but it doesn't give you that nice rounded neckline like a t-shirt. So for this project, I extended the short rows farther into the front section. You know what I'm saying? I usually add short row right here, but I extend it to over here. Okay? That's what I meant. Just about as far as width of the neckline. And I will tell you how to figure it out. So don't worry about it. And honestly, that made a big difference. That neck shaping turned out beautifully, as you already see, right? One thing to keep in mind, though, because we were working short rows across both the front and back section, we will be passing the Raglan markers and making increases multiple times. You know what I'm saying? Every time you pass the Raglan marker, I increased, right, on right side. That's what I meant. As a result, the front and back will ended up with different stitch counts. But don't worry, that's totally okay. It won't cause any problems. Now, to do all this math, there's one more thing you will need is your gauge. Make sure to knit a swatch and measure your gauge before the math. I personally use my own gauge math template, but if you don't have it, you can absolutely do the math yourself. It's just a simple proportion calculation, or you can purchase my template. All the information you need is in the description box. Okay, so let's go to my template right here. Okay, so I already put my gauge. This is my gauge. I need 4 by 4 inch square swatch, and I count stitch count, which was 25 stitches and 36 rows. Okay, so first I have to find out the cast on number, which is width, and my desired neck opening is 15 inches, right? So width number 11 and 12, I'm gonna put the number 15 and enter. There you go, 93.75. Okay, so if I want to have the at least 15 inches neck opening, I have to have at least 93.75. But there's no such a number 0.75 in knitting, so you have to pick either 93, 94, somewhere around there. But I want you to pick the number multiple of 12. So number 23, I put 12 and enter. And then I have to actually find out the number close to 93, which is 96. So my cast on number is 96. However, I made 97 because I'm going to lose one stitch when I connect both ends. So 96, but plus 1, 97. That's how I, figured it out. And next thing is, this is important, the height of the short roll. The highest part is the center of the back, because center of the back you always pass, right? So more rows than other area. Anyway, so my goal was 3. So 3 inches and enter. 27. If I want to raise 3 inches at the back of the sweater, I have to knit 27 rows total. You know what I'm saying? You have to remember this number. Okay, and then I gotta move back onto my pattern. There you go, back right here. So the yarn and needle, I will actually put the information later. And my swatch and gauge was 4 inch by 4 inch, 25 stitches and 36 rows. My desired neck opening is 15, and my cast on I already talked about it, right? And then the German short row math, and I find out 3 inch, and I need 26 to 28 rows. This number must be even number because you have a knit side and purl side. Okay, so either 26 or 28. And target stitch count, okay, 80 stitches except 16 stitches out front. Do you remember? I am going to add almost whole neckline with this German short row, except just about my, the neck width. Okay, so I have 96 stitches, right? And minus 16 stitches. So what's the 16 stitches coming from, right? Which is actually, did I actually write it down? Oh, I haven't. Okay, let me actually grab another picture, okay? Just one second. Okay, so this is my and your neck opening. My cast on number is 96, which is multiple of 12. After the neck rib has done, you have to add Raglan markers, which is 4 markers. Okay, and how to figure it out? Your whole stitch count divided by 6. Okay, mine is 96 divided by 6 is 16. This is my Raglan marker base number. Okay, so this is back, this is front. This yellow one is the biggie marker. So biggie marker has to be center of the back piece. And my base number is 16. So count 16 this way, add Raglan marker here. And count 16 this way and add Raglan marker here. So the back piece start with base number times 2. So 16 times 2 is 32. I have 32 stitches, and right in the center I have biggie marker. And next to the back piece would be my sleeve, right? You know, right? In between front and back, you have an arm. So you have to have sleeve. And this is base number times 1. So 16 stitches, then add marker. 16 stitches, add marker. Okay? And rest of them should be base number times 2. Same as back piece. So 32 stitches. Okay? This is how you put the Raglan marker. And now I'm talking about the short row. As I told you, I used to add short row only back piece. Can you see the blue line? This is, half. I split in half, right? And then I just add short row only here to here, back and forth. But now I want to extend it to the front, but not all the way, and just about the, your neck width. But you don't know that really. So I decide in the center, okay, the baseline times 1, that section, okay, I'm not doing the short row. You know what I'm saying? So I add 2 marker here. I actually put the yellow marker here and here. And this section would be 16 based number times 1. That's why, okay, let's do it. Right here. Target stitch count was 80, which is 96 minus 16 base number. That's why 80. Okay? Do you understand? So when I do the short row, I go this way and this way, back and forth until this yellow line. And once you hit the yellow line, coming back all the way and do the same thing to hit the another yellow marker. And then coming back. You know what I'm saying? If you do this slowly, gradually, adding more rows, right? So towards to the front, less row. Towards to back, more row. In other words, front line drops lower than back piece. Okay? I hope you understand. If you don't understand, please leave the comment below. I will try to help you. Okay? So let's go back. So now I have to figure it out the German short row base number. Okay? It's not same as the the Raglan marker base number. This is German short row base number. Okay? So the target stitch count, you already figured it out, 80. And my kind of, target, the row count at the very back of your neck is 26, which is, so 80 divided by 26, which is about 3 stitches. Okay? So that's why my movement for German short row was 3 stitches every time. You know what I'm saying? So if I move with 3 stitches each time, you will create 26 rows at the back of your neck. Okay? So that's how you figured it out. Anyway, I hope you understand. I'm not finishing my sweater yet, but you know what? I made enough step-by-step video, lots of it. And if you want to actually watch those videos, you will understand. However, this neck shaping is a little bit different than old video, so you kind of have to watch, few video and just find out which one is the best. Okay? And if you have any question, let me know. I usually try to help. Okay? So that's it for today. And again, I'm gonna actually finish this sweater, and I'll probably post the picture when I finish. So that's all for today. I hope you learned something. Okay? Thank you for watching, and see you next time. Bye for now.